Thank you. Senator Duckworth.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As a senator from the great state of Illinois, where we produce a lot of ethanol, my farmers are very supportive of the aviation fuel, sustainable aviation fuel movement. As a pilot, and we both actually started off as rotorheads, so welcome. It's good to see a fellow rotorhead, and I know your background in aviation actually also includes a long history in aviation safety.
Yes, ma'am.
All the way back to your days as an Army pilot. One of the things that you learn is that a safety system should never be left vulnerable to a single point of failure. Never. Redundancy saves lives. We know that. That's why I am very alarmed that a single contractor could crash the automated NOTAM system by simply deleting files. That sounds like a single point of failure to me, and I would love to understand it better. And this is on the heels of the deadly Boeing 737 MAX crashes that were caused by the grossly irresponsible decision to place passengers' lives at risk at the mercy of a single angle of attack sensor. What's striking about these incidents is that America's largest commercial aircraft manufacturer and the world's most important aviation regulator both betrayed a fundamental aviation safety principle: operational redundancy. It's the FAA's job to keep our airspace safe, but it is impossible for FAA to do this unless its systems have appropriate redundancies, and you generally have redundancies across the system. Administrator Nolen, when was the last time that the FAA reviewed its air traffic organization's facilities and equipment to ensure that there are no potential single points of failure?
Well, thank you, Senator Duckworth, and I applaud you for your service as well. It's great to talk to a fellow Army person. Let me just say we have an ongoing look in terms of where we are. So the whole journey of modernization for the FAA is exactly to what you're describing. How do we continue to build in redundancy and resiliency in the system and expand it to be able to accommodate new entrants and what we have today? That work is ongoing.
What was the last time before the NOTAM system crashed that a review was conducted?
We did reviews in 2020, 2021, and we've done 3 reviews in 2022.
I would love to see any reports from those reviews, if possible.
We'll certainly follow up with you.
Thank you. The Boeing 737 MAX investigation discovered that at least one employee specifically cautioned against relying on a single angle of attack sensor in the airframe, but that concern went unheeded. How often, if ever, are you briefed on concerns that FAA employees may have about the resiliency of the air traffic organization's facilities and equipment? Do you get those briefings? Do those come up to you at your level?
We do. We have several processes. Certainly, we have a whistleblower program. We've got for our safety organization, we have a voluntary safety confidential reporting program. So there are multiple avenues for FAA employees to get information to me. I have a biweekly with my audit team in terms of. And
they lift up individual?
They do come to me for individual reports.
Okay. I'm going to go to my next question just simply because I have a limited amount of time. As you know, last week, Airlines for America urged FAA to extend its proposed deadline to June 2024 to retrofit aircraft with altimeters that won't experience interference from 5G wireless technology. While a 4-month delay may not be a huge disruption, it is a reminder that this process has been and remains a seat-of-the-pants operation. Had the FAA and FCC better cooperated during the development of 5G, wireless customers would have benefited from a smooth, predictable rollout of this new technology without risks to air passengers. Instead, we were treated to delays, negotiations, and uncertainty, all because the FAA and the FCC failed to meaningfully collaborate with each other early and often over the years. We should never have reached a situation where the FAA had to seriously consider halting flights at certain airports because it could not rule out the risk of 5G interference causing a crash, even if such a risk was low. I have several questions I'm going to submit for the record. But really, what I need to know is the FAA receiving all the technical information it needs from the FCC and the wireless carriers to ensure that 5G does not interfere? Does the FAA have the resources that it needs to ensure that all passenger aircraft are equipped with the technology to prevent 5G from interfering with flight operations? And this is both commercial but also general aviation. Is the FAA sharing all relevant information with FCC and air carriers to prevent 5G from interfering with flight operations? So I have a series of questions I'm going to submit for the record, and I'd ask for you to please submit your answers in writing.
Thank you. We'd be happy to respond.
Thank you.